Hey, second graders. We are combining two lessons again this week, lessons 7 and 8, since they both involve money and they both involve story problems, okay? So our learning target for these two lessons, I can draw to solve word problems involving money. So when we are solving these word problems that have to do with money, I want you to draw the coins or draw the dollar bills, depending on what they're asking for, and then you can solve, okay? So when we draw coins, we want to make sure that we are drawing them and labeling them. So let's just run through what coins we have, right? We have 4 different coins that we have learned. We've got the quarter, right? How much is a quarter worth? 25 cents, right? That is how you would draw your quarter. All right, how about a dime? How much is a dime worth? We've got 10, right? Nickel? 5 cents. And the last one is a penny. Okay, so coins we want to draw this way. We also want to draw coins biggest to smallest, right? It's easier to count them if we start with our quarters and we end with our pennies. It's much easier to add those. When you're drawing dollars, you're just going to draw them like you would see a dollar, right? Rectangle, and you would just label them. If that's a dollar, you just label it a 1. If it's a $5 bill, you label it a 5, 10, whatever you're working with. So when we are drawing coins and dollar bills, that is what they're going to look like today. You're going to need 2 things to work through with me. You're going to need your lesson 7 problem set and your lesson 8 problem set. They're both in your Learn book, and they are on page 177. That's your lesson 7 problem set, 177. And lesson 8 problem set is on page 183. We are not going to solve all of these. We're just going to solve a couple of them from both problem sets, and then you're going to do the lesson 7 and lesson 8 homework on your own. Okay? Pause the video if you need to grab those problem sets, 7 and 8, and we are ready to get started. We are going to start with number 1 on the lesson 7 problem set. I haven't written them up here because they take up too much room, so we're just going to read them together. You have it in front of you, and we're going to draw them together to find the answers, okay? So number 1 says, Grace has 3 dimes, 2 nickels, and 12 pennies. So what's our first step going to be? Circle what's important. 3 dimes, 2 nickels, 12 pennies. How much money does she have? We have to draw it, right? So I'll put a number 1 here. So let's draw 3 dimes first. Don't draw too big because you have to fit all of your coins and your math inside that area. And how much is a dime? We have 10 cents, right? So let's label these 10, 10, 10. There's the first part. She has 2 nickels. How much are nickels worth? 5, right? 5, 5. 12 pennies. You gotta draw 12 pennies. I'm not gonna draw them very big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice how I still grouped them in 5 so they're easier to count, right? And then let's put 1s inside those circles. Those are pennies, right? 1 cent. And we want to know how much money she has. So when you're counting money, I said this at the beginning, it's easier to start with the biggest coin and then work your way down. So the biggest coin we have are the dimes, right? We have 3 of them. How much is that worth? Count by tens. 10, 20, 30. So I'm going to label that. That's 30 cents. Ooh, let's put my cent sign on there. A C with a line through it. Then we have 2 nickels. 5 and 5. How much is that? 10 cents. And then the last thing we have were the 12 pennies. How much is 12 pennies worth, right? 12 cents. Now, how do we find her total? What do we do with those numbers? Add them, right? So I'm just going to add 30 and 10 and 12. Over here somewhere on the side, I'm going to write it vertically. Make sure I do it correctly. We can add it together and get Grace's total. 0, 0 plus 2. That's 2, no regrouping. 3 plus 1 is 5, 52 cents. And now we need to put that into a sentence. So right above number 2, we can write our sentence right along here. Okay? Grace has 52 cents. And we are done with our first story problem. You're following that same RDW process. Read the story problem, find out what's important, draw a picture, right? Those are our coins. And we have to solve it, so there's going to be some math in there. And then lastly, you'll write your sentence. If you need to catch up a little bit, pause the video because I'm going to erase this. Okay? Okay. We are going to skip number 2 for now, and we're going to go down to number 3. Like I said, we're only going to do some of these today. Number 3, what does it say? Mamadou, I think his name is. Read with me. Mamadou found 39 cents in the sofa last week. This week, he found 2 nickels, 4 dimes, and 5 pennies. How much money does Mamadou have all together? What kind of math is all together? Addition again. This story problem, we have the 39 cents and then we have the coins he found. So we're actually going to have 2 parts. So let's record those. So we know we have 39 cents. It told us that. Then it says he found 2 nickels. So let's draw our 2 nickels. How much are they? 5. What else did he find? 4 dimes. How much are dimes worth? 10. Label those. And last, he found 5 pennies. And pennies are worth 1 cent. Okay? And we have to add all of this up. We said all together, so that means addition. So let's just kind of count what our coins are. 5 pennies is 5 cents. How much is my 2 nickels? 10 cents. Turn the light down a little bit so it's not glaring. 10 cents. And then we have 4 dimes. Count them. 10, 20, 30, 40. Now we have to add these together so we can find the total. Now remember, we've got these, but also we have that 39 cents that he found in the sofa, right? So we actually have to add all of those things together. 39, 10, 40, and 5. Doesn't matter if you have 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4 numbers, you still add them the same way, right? We always start in the ones place, we add those together, decide if you have to regroup or make a new 10, and then we add the 10s together. So 9 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5. What's 9 plus 5? 14, right? So the 4 goes down here, we have to regroup the 10. Now we can add all of those together. I would add 3 and 4 first. 3 plus 4 is 7, 8, 9. Put my cent sign. And we have to put it into a sentence. So the question was, how much money does Mamadou have all together? So let's just rephrase that into a statement. How do you spell his name? Mamadou has 94 cents all together. That one just had one extra step with the 39 cents. Okay, one more from this problem set. And then we'll move on to problem set 8. I'm going to erase, so pause it if you need to catch up. We're going to flip it over and we're going to skip all the way to number 6. You can always go back and do the rest. If you want more practice with the story problems and counting money, after we're done, feel free to go back, but you don't have to. We're just doing a couple for practice so you know how to do these on your own. We are working on number 6. Can we read it together? His name is Ricardo. Ricardo has 3 quarters, 1 dime, 1 nickel, and 4 pennies. He gave 68 cents to his friend. How much money does Ricardo have left? Have left. He gave money away and he has some left. What kind of math is that? Subtraction, right? But we can't do any subtracting until we figure out one thing. Well, how much money did he start with? We got to draw to count it out. So he's got 3 quarters, right? How much are quarters? Big ones, 25 cents, right? 25s. Those are my quarters. He's got 1 dime. 10. He's got 1 nickel. 5. And he has 4 pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we have to count these things up. Now, if you don't know how to count quarters, you probably should practice. Okay. So I will tell you, and then you will do it together. We've got 25, 50, 75, 100. That's what you got to count. So can you do it with me? Ready? 25, 50, 75, 100. That's skip counting by 25s. So if we have 3 of them, can we do that? 25, 50, 75. So 3 quarters is 75 cents. I'm going to do these together. Might as well. 10 and 5. We can do that. 15. And then how much are my pennies? 4 cents. We still haven't figured out his total yet. So we have to add these together before we can figure out how much money he has left. So there's actually 2 steps of math we have to do on this one, isn't there? Right? So let's add these together. 5 and 5 makes 10. 10 and 4 makes 14. Make sure you regroup. 7 plus 1 plus 1 equals 9. Is 94 cents my answer? Nope. Right? We don't want to know how much he had before. We want to know how much he has left. So he gave 68 cents to his friend. So we have 94 and he's giving 68 cents away and we want to know how much he has left. We said before we were going to do subtraction. 4 minus 8. Can't do that, right? More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. We reviewed that last week, right? Take away a 10 there, make this 14. So we have 8 and 14 up top. 14 minus 8, what is that? 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. So how much money does Ricardo have left? Ricardo has 26 cents left. That was a 2-step story problem. Actually 3. Draw the coins. We had to figure out the total. And then we had to subtract to figure out what Ricardo had left. That is all for the lesson 8 problem set. That one just involved coins. That was lesson 7, excuse me. That was all the lesson 7 problem set that just had coins. The lesson 8 problem set is story problems, but it has dollar bills. So we have to draw dollar bills. Okay. Lesson 8 problem set. We are going to start with number 1. Patrick has 1 $10 bill, 2 $5 bills, and 4 $1 bills. How much money does he have? So just like with coins, we're going to draw what we heard, but we're going to draw them in rectangles because now we're working with dollars. 1 $10 bill. So like that. 2 $5 bills. 5 and 4 $1 bills. So let's draw 4 rectangles. 2 are squares. Doesn't really matter. 1. And now we have to add this together, right? How much money does Patrick have? Sometimes they're more mental math, right? I think this one is a lot of mental math. I know that's going to make $4. I have a 10 and I have 5 and 5. What's 5 and 5? Oh, look, another 10. When you are working with dollar bills, you want to use the dollar sign, not the cent sign. The dollar sign is an S with a line through it. Cent signs always go at the end. Dollar signs actually go in front of the number. So I'm going to draw my dollar sign in front. S with a line through it. And now we're going to add those things together. 10 plus 4. If you need to write it out, go for it. If you don't, just solve it in your head. 10, and 4 is 24, and we're working with dollars. So how much money does Patrick have? Patrick has, $ first, $24. No different than coins. We're just working with dollars instead. Okay. All right. If I'm ever going to quickly remember, this is a video, so you can always pause it and catch up your recording on your paper. Number 3 is what we're going to do next. We're skipping number 2. Okay? Raja has $60. He gave one $20 bill and 3 $5 bills to his cousin. How much money does Raja have left? So Raja is giving money away, and we want to know how much money Raja has left. That sounds like what kind of math? Subtraction, right? So we know that Raja is starting with 60. That was given to us, right? We don't know how much money he gave away because it just told us a bunch of bills. So we have to figure that out. One $20. Okay. 3 $5. Okay. Go ahead and get that drawn. And we have to count it up. Once again, I think this one's kind of mental math because we can count by 5s. If we have 20, 20 plus 5 is 25. Then 5 more is 30. And 5 more is 35. If skip counting is hard for you, you can always just add these things together. You can add 20 plus the 15. But we skip counted and we know that Raja gave away $35. So what do I do with these two numbers, 60 and 35? I subtract them because I want to know how much money Raja has left. Ooh, there's that tricky 0 up top. Do not stick a 5 down here. 0 minus 5 is not 5. If you have 0, you can't take anything away. So we've got to go next door and get 10 more. Unbundle the 6 to make it 5, and that becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, and 5 minus 3 is 2. $25. How much money does Raja have left? Raja has $25 left. Perfect. I think that's enough. I think you guys are ready to go on your own. Just a couple of reminders, okay? When you are solving these story problems, follow that RDW. Read the problem carefully. Circle what's important as you read. That's step 1. 2, draw. Draw the bills. Draw the coins. Get a picture down so you can count it up. When you draw, you also have to do the math that goes with it because that's how you're going to solve. And then the last step you got to do before you move on is put that into a sentence. If I just said $25, I have no idea what that means. $25 for what? Right? But if I put it in a sentence, Raja has $25 left, I know what you're talking about. Okay? So you will need your lesson 7 and lesson 8 homework pages out of your Succeed book to complete for your assignment. You can complete the problems we skipped on lesson 7 and 8 problem sets, but you don't have to. Grab your lesson 7 and 8 homework and get started. Bye, second